first set. We are in a tie match at the drop. Double gen pop to avoid the deadlock. They do go down. There is a haste status effect. They did be careful here. The hatch is going to spawn momentarily. Deadhard could get them the distance to get it too.
Really smart play on the ace. Oh my god, getting shot through the window.
No longer have distortion, and they are gonna teleport here. I think they get there in time. Yes!
Oh, the grab! Yes! That is disappointing. This is be a 4-man out because.
Yeah, but they will be able to block this. Yo, getting caught on that. Ace coming with the body block. Oh, they were here.
Hey, what is up, guys? It's Giltspire here, and welcome back to Champions of the Fog, and welcome to round 3, Monarchy versus No Mercy. And we are going to be kicking things off strong with Gas 7, and we are going to be seeing No Mercy's Artist in a bit of a mirror match. Should be a grand old time. That being said, we are jumping right on in. We see that the survivors have spawned over by the gas station. Artist, though, already prepped and ready to send out some scouts to see where they're at, not knowing the spawn location could be severely detrimental to the beginning of this match. One thing that I always point out on the Gas Heaven is how consistent the survivor spawn locations are and how easily it can be for a killer to identify where they're going to be right off the bat. But Artist finding the Nancy, it would seem, chasing scratch marks, and I do see a Hex Totem. Only one thus far, can only assume that it is a Ruin. Probably one of the last times that we actually do see Ruin, given the fact that the mid-chapter update, Ruin will be all but gone and out of contention for a viable perk in comp. But looks like we do have Nancy at that flashlight there, getting rid of the Dire Crows off of the Atom. I will note that the Artist, sorry, that's Meg, not Nancy. We will note that the Artist does have those moccasins, which I do believe is the aura reading add-on for the Artist. Very strong when used correctly, as we have seen time and time again. Meg, though, dropping the pallet, getting a little bit of a thought in their head, maybe I should blind them, but opting not to in the end. Artist in a bit of a chase, and I will say here, with 2 survivors injured, there's a decent amount of pressure, but they need to get a down quick as Corrupt Intervention is about to end. And there it is, the down on slow, the Meg. We do hear that there is a noise notification off there in the distance. Unfortunately, not enough time for the Artist to get there. I will also note here that these survivors are keenly aware of multiple perks here. Corrupt Intervention, Ruin, Sloppy Butcher, which is an interesting choice on the Artist. As for the 4th one, that is still yet to be seen, though it does appear that the Artist here will be camping this survivor to 2nd stage, or at the very least attempting to do so. We'll see if that play will end up in their favor. So far, though, doesn't look like they're able to get anyone off the gens with their Dire Crows. They at least have not gotten a hit. With Ruin still up, actually a really strong play, just sending out the Crows and harassing the survivors bit by bit. You see that slow, the Meg, currently still on the hook, has probably about 10 seconds until they progress, and we do see a survivor over there on that generator, a 10% gen regression on that missed skill check, and a Dire Crow hit too on the Claudette. Now, with the second stage, this could be a huge moment here for the artists to pressure these gens and get another down. However, it's looking like they might actually pressure to death here. This definitely isn't something that we see often, but I can kind of understand the mentality here or there, given the fact that Ruin is right next to this hook, and artists can just passively pressure from afar. Mind you, I don't think the strategy will be viable for much longer, as Adam will be coming in for this unhook. We see the Claudette as well. They're trying to get the body block, trying to get it set up to where they can get this unhook. Artists, though, doing a really great job of pushing them around so that they can't. There's the hit on the Claude. They are going for the unhook. There's the dead hard, I think. And they are unable to get the 1-for-1 trade, as we do see a gen pop off in the distance. Mind you, that's 3 survivors off of gens with Ruin still up, meaning that they are regressing at 200% speed as we speak. So that is quite huge. Artists unable to get the hit, though, on the Meg, and Ruin gone just like that. But I think the artists got the information and the value that they wanted from the perk. So definitely not a bad time for it. Artists, though, trying to get this mind game on the LT wall. Might be able to get this hit on the window. And that there is a slow vault and the down. I'm wondering if, there's a big if Slow was attempting to force a grab. The reason why that could be relevant is that I think the artist has the same thought that I do, that Slow has a decisive strike and is right now waiting out that decisive strike timer of 60 seconds. Here's the pickup. Will it be too soon? Either they didn't have it or they waited out just enough. However, only 2 generators remaining with at least some progress, even with Ruin's regression. And we do see that gen in the distance completed. The question now is, will the artist be able to get another down? And does the Claudette have deliverance? She really did pressure that unhook quite aggressively. It's not outside the realm possibility. We do, however, see a survivor in the main building trying to evade the artist crows, and that there is the Nancy with a medkit in hand, currently swarmed by the dire crows, trying to get them off as we speak. Artist trying to set up the shotgun, will get the hit, and will at this point be forced to commit to the chase, lest they do lose all the pressure they currently have. I mean, if the artist is going for a 2K6 hook here, it looks like that's what they're going to get, as they do hit the Claudette with a dire crow. But like we mentioned earlier, there's a very strong possibility that Claudette is the one with deliverance. If that is the case, then Claudette is not the one to chase here. The question is, does the artist know that, or even have the thought of that being the case, as they do hit Claudette with another dire crow. Really great aim here by the artist, just unfortunately unable to get much in the way of a follow-up, as they do get this injure on the Claudette now. Claudette in a bit of a dead zone. Pallet coming up on the right. Will they get there in time? They do not. And that will be the down for the Claudette, and I imagine we're probably going to see a camp to death once again by this artist. Mind you, this time around, there is no form of ruin, as we do see that last generator pop off. However, do want to point out here, we do see a bit of a haste status effect, and sure enough, the Claudette with the deliverance, as was foretold. And looks like we're going to be going for the Nancy. Artist gained some information there on the Adam, who is at the exit. Only 1 light, though. I mean, Artist has their choices here. Go for the Adam, go for the Nancy. Which one will it be? Both are fresh hook. And looks like we're going to be going for the Adam here, as Noah is incoming. Going for the swing, will get hit through the pallet, and there it is. Survivors are now keenly aware of Noah's existence. Will the Artist be able to get another slug, though? Open up the exit gate, and it looks like they are going to play it safe, and this will be a 2K7 hook here for No Mercy. Not bad at all. And if that being said, gonna be a pretty close game as we do switch sides with Monarchy killing next once again on the Gas Heaven. And as he mentioned earlier, it is a bit of a mirror match, so we will be seeing more of the artist. But with that being said, guys, we are going to be getting this next lobby set up shortly. But before we do want to remind y'all here today watching that yes, you are our sponsors. So all the ads that you watch, all the bits that you tip, all the subs that you buy, all go to supporting Champions of the Fog and the $525 prize pool that these competitors are duking it out for. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit. All right, and we are back. Once again, we are with No Mercy versus Monarchy. This time, Monarchy's Artist against No Mercy Survivor Team. Score is right now 15-15. It is anyone's game. Excuse me. Keep in mind, of course, that the killer does have the ability to get a little bit more points in comparison to Desires. Not by much, mind ya, but for every hook the killer gets, the survivors lose some of their escape points. So something to keep in mind as we do see Slow here piloting the artist, sending out the crows right away for a bit of information. No killer instinct or dire crow hits there though. Once again, spawn logic on this map is pretty consistent, and I am sure that Slow knows that to a T. We do see scratch marks there over by the corrupted gen. And looks like we will be seeing our first chase here in just a few moments with Hitbox's The Dwight. Once again, we see those shoes currently in effect. That aura reading I do not think we saw last time. A pallet randomly down for some reason already. Maybe in an effort to get the artist's attention? I don't know. That is definitely a little bit of a questionable play there. However, we do see the dire crow hit and the pallet drop. This survivor kind of boxed in here every time they vault an object, resetting the dire crow swarm. There's a dead hard once again resetting the swarm. That's the down on Dan the Nia. And that was within the first minute and 30 seconds of this match. Slow looking around, trying to identify what hook they want to go to. Scratch marks here as well. And looks like a firecracker attempt, not able to get it though, as that there will be the first hook of the game, and a dire crow once again on hitboxes the Dwight. We see Dwight trying to fake out where they're going to go. Slow just pushing them into the corner. Dire crows now off them, however. And Slow sending out some crows into the distance. We do see a ruin totem right over there that these survivors are keenly aware of. That there will be the down on Dwight, and no attempt for a tunnel out on Dan, however, as they'll go immediately for that hook and are going to be sending out some crows here to investigate kind of in between the totems and gens. I'm curious whether or not they're looking to hit Dan the Nia there, and were unable to do so, however, finding them pretty quickly as Dwight will activate Deliverance, hence why they were so aggressive on that 1-for-1 trade. Vando taking the dire crow swarm and is going to be chased down by another, not really moving out of the way. Slow though, I think accidentally breaking into this room, not meaning to do so. However, will get the pickup on Dan. Is there a decisive strike? And there it is, a quick one at that. Looks like Slow, undeterred though by that decisive strike, will send out some dire crows towards the Nia once again, unable to get the hit, as Nia here kind of sitting back in this corner trying to decide where Slow is going to go. There are the dire crows though, bit of information for Slow. Seems like they're going to be doubling back. Will Slow be able to get the hit through the wall? So close. However, Nia out of position now with not a lot of room to go. Will they be able to get to a tile in time before Slow is able to get them down? And they are not, as this will be the third hook of this match and second hook here on this Nia. However, these survivors, not being slouches, will complete 2 generators as a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance gives us information to where Dwight is. Honestly, one of the few times we're going to probably see Pain Res get this much value, as the information is going to be removed from the perk come the mid-chapter update. However, hitboxes kind of juking those crows there. And we do see a very gutsy survivor on that gen trying to crank it out. Ruin popping off as it is still up. Regressive gens bit by bit. Ace, though, going to this pallet, will take the hit as he was in the flight path. And now going for the 1-for-1 trade here on the hook, it would seem. Deliverance and Decisive Strike are out of the game. If Ace here does not have a BT, for example. That could be pretty significant. However, I'd be shocked and appalled if that were the case, as that'd be as good as a farm could be. However, Slow, once again, tracking this Nia, though potentially opting to go for gen pressure instead, as we do see hitbox the Dwight once again over here by Shaq. Slow looking all around, trying to see what is what and what is where, and will send out the crows once again, narrowly missing the Dwight, as he will be able to get to this LT wall. Dwight probably seeing this Hex Ruin here, but unable to do much about it, as Dwight will end up going down, and this here will be the second hook for the Dwight. Only problem is now for the Survivor team, though they know the information of where Ruin is, Slow could theoretically camp this out, especially as Scourge Hook Pain Resonance giving them a bit of regression over there on that generator. This allows them to pressure from afar with those Dire Crows, forcing the Survivors to either jump off or get hit. And we see Ruin here doing a number on this gen. Slow trying to find out where this Lori is, will find them. Unable to get the hit though at the vault on the LT wall, and looks like sending out some crows, thinking Lori would go for the 1-4 in trade. She does not, however, and looks like these Survivors are just going to be continuing to sit on these gens, as Ace coming on in. I'd be willing to bet at this point that they do indeed have a BT. However, Slow, seeing blood in the water, will be going for the Dwight now. No decisive strike in hand. All he needs to do is count to 12, and he will be able to get this down. And here it comes. Dire Crows once again off the Dwight, just going to the corner, trying to give their teammates as much time as possible. Slow almost with the double tap there from the Dire Crows, given the distance, and that will be down on hitbox. So this here is going to be the make or break moment. Let's see if they're able to get this gen completed. Slow going to this Scourge Hook. It's going to be a bit of a stretch. If there is a body block here, this could be a unshoulder, but is not. And we do see, once again, another Scourge Hook and a bit of a 3-gen here. So these Survivors are in a bit of a pickle, and Slow does know that there is a Nia out here also on Death Hook. I can only imagine that he is trying to find her as we speak with these Dire Crows. However, these Survivors being quite evasive, and there she is. That's the information that Slow wanted, seeing that the Nia is on this gen and waiting for him. At this point in time, if Slow is able to get the kill on the Nia, that will tie up this match. If an instance, however, that Slow is able to get the down on the Nia and then another hook, that will spell victory for the set for Monarchy. Looks like, though, they'll take the hit on the Nia and will actually drop Chase, fearing that the gen over here will be completed in time. Based on the win condition here, honestly, if they are able to down and hook either the Ace or the Lori, that will spell victory, as the Survivors will lose out on more points than they are able to gain. It will be a 1-point difference, as Lori taking it at the pallet, unable to drop it in time. Slow, though, unable to get the hit with the Dire Crows, and Lori with the pre-drop, trying to make sure that there is no chance of her going down here, as she will make it to the vault. Slow, though, trying to set up this Dire Crow here. Keep in mind, there is the aura reading. Unfortunately, though, too close to the Lori, unable to get the hit with the flight path. Ace, though, with the body block. Honestly, though, Ace in a bit of trouble here, as if he goes down too, that still will spell victory for Monarchy. Unable to get the body block. Lori going for the pallet. Slow going for the swing. Will get the down. Ace, though, coming on in, trying to get there in time. I don't know if you'll be able to. Ace, though, harassing. I can only imagine a potential unbreakable is going to be on play with this type of situation. However, looks like Slow will go for the pickup. Nia here, not able to get the hit, but Slow still able to get past that pallet. This here will secure victory for Monarchy. A very, very close set, to say the least. That there is No-Ed active once again. Not that I think that they need it here, as all survivors are currently injured. Slow, all he needs to do here is sit and wait. Deliverance out of the game. There is Decisive Strike out of the game. I think at this point, there's only one BT. Nia desperately trying to get here for the unhook, but it really just does not matter. There is no deterring Slow the Artist here today. And looks like they are going to take the 2-man out, or at least should be taking the 2-man out to ensure they still have a shot at the match point. But once this survivor progresses to second stage, that will be that. And I want to say here, if you look at that Hex Totem, that is a perfect place here for Slow, as they are pretty much always going to be within line of sight, and that there will secure victory. Nia just needs to make her way out. If she does not do something now, she will lose it all, and I think Slow kind of smells blood and water here. However, if the Nia N team plays it smart, Ace can leave right now. Nia can go for the hatch for the 2-man out, playing a very dangerous game, but it will work out here, I do believe, as Dan the Nia will be going for the hatch. Slow, knowing full well they cannot reach them in time, and that will be the 2K9 hook for the Artist. Well, that being said, that was a very suspenseful trial. Set number 1 and trial number 2. We are going to be sticking with Monarchy and Slow as killer. And we are going to be switching over to the Suffocation Pit, where we are going to be seeing the judge, the jury, the executioner, the Pyramid Head himself. But before we do want to remind you all today that we are partnered with Stream for a Cause. Stream for a Cause is a nonprofit organization based here in the United States. They support a litany of different causes, everything from refugees in Ukraine, Going Green initiatives, LGBTQA plus communities, and a whole lot more. So if you guys haven't checked out Champions for a Cause, our fundraiser that we spun up with them, please make sure to do so now. Even $1 goes a whole long way to supporting some really important causes. But with that being said, guys, we'll be back in just a bit. right, and we are back. This time, we are going to be on the Suffocation Pit with Monarchy's Slow piloting the judge, the jury, the executioner, Mr. Pyramid Head himself, against No Mercy Survivor Team. Mind you, we are now in set number 2, though the match points are still gonna be counting on up. This set point is anyone's game. And if that being said, we are jumping right on in as we see Slow spawning on Shaq's side of the Suffo pit, and hold the phone. I don't know if you see what I see, but there is no corrupt intervention. Now, this was a sight that I was not expecting to see until the mid-chapter update, but Slow going for it through and through without hesitation, not caring one bit for what these survivors have in store. We did see scratch marks right there on the left. Not sure if Slow saw them too. We do see those scratch marks. Slow trying to identify where that survivor has gone, and looks like they are now on their trail. Seeing 2 survivors making their way towards Shaq's side. Will we see Slow cut off the ace here? We do indeed. Ace trying to double back. Slow going for the hit. Gets a beautiful hit there on Wensful, the ace. And it looks like he will be going down if there's no dead hard here. And sure enough, a quick and dirty down. I want to say that was probably in the first minute or so of the match. And so if it were new corrupt, that actually would have expired then and there. It's one of those things, the new corrupt intervention, I definitely do believe the trick is going to be, if you believe you can get it down within the first minute, just don't bring corrupt. And I'm kind of excited to see it. However, we hear a totem go off. There were 2, and that one there is lit. We do see a Hex Pentimento in play. And these survivors keenly aware that first one there was Hex, Thrill of the Hunt. Some interesting plays here for sure, really trying to leverage the Hex Pentimento and Ruin combination for just overall slowdown. Looks like they're going to be trying to go for this ace here, trying to get them tormented to avoid the potential decisive strike. Will get to the ace. That's a Lythan play. A fake on the Punch from the Damned. David trying to get here. Slow showing No Mercy to No Mercy. However, we'll point out that the ace has not been tormented, so there is a chance of decisive strike, though it does not appear to be the case. And we will be seeing a second hook here on Wensful the ace right next to the Ruin Totem. So pretty insane plays here, though these survivors have completed a single gen. Like I said before, they are not going down without a fight. Surprised that we do not see a Pentimento totem here, however. Keep in mind that these survivors probably would be keenly aware of its location, given that they've only cleansed 1 totem. Slow, once again, going to be tormenting across the front of that hook to capture anyone going for the fast unhook. Keep in mind, survivors can crawl through the barbed wire to avoid being tormented, though we did see that the David did not do so earlier, as we hear a second gen popping off and a 10% regression on the gen near the hook. Unfortunately, I'm thinking it might be a little bit too late, as Ace only has a few moments left on hook, though. Hold up. I think that might be a little bit of kinship value, if I do say so myself. That bar not going anywhere, and once again, we see the David going for the unhook. I think we can tell who has BT at this point in time. However, Pyramid Head not caring whatsoever, will get the BT hit through the window. Unfortunately, Pyramid Head not able to count to 12, or at least not fast enough. And looks like we are going to be going for the tunnel out on the ace here. Keep in mind, this gen, though, about to be complete. Slow, deviating from their initial plan, will try and go for the Dwight, as we hear a third gen popping off there in the distance. Slow needing to do something quick here, as they do end up getting the down on the ace, and this will be final judgment. Second totem popping off. That there is the Ruin. Ruin now out of the game. Only 2 perks left in the pocket of this Executioner. Hex Pentimento, which we are going to see that totem lit now for 30% slowdown of these generators. But will it be enough to stop this Dwight from completing the gen? It looks like it might be. However, if no regression in hand, it is going to be only a short while before that gen is completed by another survivor. Pallet going down. Dwight, thinking he has enough distance, does get the dodge on the punishment of the damned. And looks like we're heading over towards the hill. Potentially slow, giving up on that generator at this point in time. Seeing Nia kind of out in no man's land. And David, once again, trying to work on this gen. It's 2 lit totems for Pentamentos, meaning that now healing is also slowed down by 30%. David with the flashlight by, knowing that the execution cannot look up or down while in their power. And looks like there might be another survivor on that hill gen as we speak. Slow, desperately trying to get the punishment of the damned hit there. Trying to at least secure the 2K6 hook. As we do hear both Pentimento totems being extinguished back to back. These survivors not caring whatsoever what this Pyramid Head has in store. And I imagine a balanced landing to boot. These survivors, night and day from their previous performance, in all honesty, against the artist. And looks like David very much has... No! I was going to say he got away, but Slow knows better than I and will get the down on the David. And we're going to see a Cage of Atonement send him to the other side of the map. Mind you, not many gens there, so this could be a strategic play. However, I do not know where the location of these exit gates are, as we see Dwight going into the back corner, probably for the uncage as we speak. And sure enough, there is the cage in sight. And I imagine this is going to be a straight up tunnel for this Pyramid Head, as they are not going to have any mercy for this David. Sure enough, there's the down and the pickup once again. Nia on the generator, completing it in the end. It's now up to Slow. Will this be a 2K6 hook, or will they go for more? No Way Out activating, only 2 stacks on it just in the nick of time. 30 seconds on the clock for these survivors, and Dwight trying his best to be a stealthy survivor, but unable to do so. Does get found out at the LT wall. If Slow is able to get this down and secure the 2K7 hook, if not more, this would be a huge play. Dwight, though, trying to make the best out of nothing. Move it into another LT wall. Slow trying to get the quick shot there on the punishment of the damned. Unable to do so, however. Dwight playing with fire. Slow trying to fake it at the pallet. Dwight with a dead hard. And another fake, and the down just barely. Is that for the people? Is that for the people? It is not. Nia trying to do something, but just unable to get there. Here comes the pickup, and at this point, I believe this is going to be the end for these survivors. However, do you want to point out, we know that David has been the designated unhooker this entire time. There's a very likely chance that there's at least 1 BT still left in the game. But if they play their cards right, it could mean that the Nia does not have a BT in hand, and a hook trade could be inevitable if these survivors make an attempt. Realistically speaking, the best play here might just to be take the 2-man out. This would be a 2K8 hook now for Slow and Monarchy. No sign of the survivors so far. Dwight quickly progressing to second stage. I'm trying to think of everyone who has unhooked thus far, and Dwight, I don't believe is on that list. I do not believe Dwight is on that list so far. I believe we've only seen the David, and Excuse me? Slow, you okay there, bud? Just out of nowhere with the pot shot on the Nia, progression on Dwight, and a miss on the punishment of the damned. Yeah, I think that spooked both me and survivors alike, as Slow just may have heard the slightest of sounds and took the chance, and that there will secure the 2K8 hook for Monarchy. And with that being said, we will be moving to trial number 2 of set 2. This time, No Mercy will be killing, and they are bringing the Death Slinger. Interesting. My opinion is that Death Slinger is just the worst version of the Executioner, so I'm hoping for some cracked rootin' tootin' shootin' cowboy gameplay here today. But that being said, before we do, we are going to take another quick break. As a reminder, guys, you here today are our sponsors. All the ads that you watch, all the bits that you tip, all the subs that you buy, all go to support Champions of the Fog and our $525 prize pool that these competitors are duking it out for. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit. All right, and we are back for trial number 4, set number 2. This time, no mercy, killing against Monarchy Survivor Team with the rootin' tootin' shootin' cowboy himself. And they are going to need to get quite the match, as they are going to need a 2K8 hook to tie it up for this set, or a 3K for the win. However, that alone I do not think will nab them the match point. It will be very, very close. With that being said, this Deathslinger here finding these survivors quite quick indeed. So a excellent start here. However, the Jake doing a fantastic job dodging that their Redeemer shot. And looks like we will be continuing the chase here. Deathslinger unable to find anyone else. And once again, I will look around, and we do not see any Hex Totems this time. No Ruin, no Pentimento, no Thrill of the Hunt, it would seem. Very interesting choices. However, we do see here the Warden's Key and Cigar. Surprised not to see the prison chains, especially around some of these loops. The prison chains can be a absolute godsend, given what you are not able to get away with on some of these loops. However, Jake once again just extending this chase through and through, doing a fantastic job of doing so, and looks like we will get the shot there. I doubt we see the hit, but we will get the break nonetheless. And that is kind of insane amount of value there from the Cigar, I will say. Jake almost having zero time to really react, as Deathslinger was on top of them. Once again, going for the shot here. Will get the sharpshooter. They only need to thread the needle here and will get the hit. However, Corrupt Invention just now ending, and the first gen being completed as well. Looks like Slinger looking around at their hooks. A potential Scourge Hook Pain Resonance incoming here, as they are going for a pretty far away one. And sure enough, there it is. And looks like the Scourge Hook hits the gen right next to them. Actually, kind of huge amounts of pressure, as they are able to proxy this gen and hook in tandem, allowing that to regress by 0.3% per second. However, looks like we're going for the Nia now, and they have gotten the unhook. I'd be willing to bet that 2 survivors are going to be on that gen in just a few moments. Slinger thinking that same thought, will be going back. And that there is the Nancy, who I can only assume has Deliverance in hand. Nancy with the pre-drop, not giving this Deathslinger any moments to breathe. And another whiff on their part, and this gen no longer passively regressing, as the survivors have quickly gen tapped it. Now, mind you, come the mid-chapter update, that will not be the case any longer, as generators, even when dry kick, will regress by 2.5%. You know, ain't nothing much, but it ain't nothing to sneeze at either. And we see Nancy here in the jungle gyms trying to lead the Slinger around, as we do hear the second gen popping off there. A beautiful shot there by the Slinger. Amazing job, as we do see that very quick pickup there thanks to the Cigar. Apparently that nicotine addiction does a Deathslinger well, as they are now going to be back on the Nancy, though. Looks like they have gone behind the logs, unbeknownst to the Slinger, trying to get a shot there on the Claudette. These chases just taken a little bit too long, unfortunately, and this is the difference between Slinger and Executioner. It really comes down to line of sight, where Executioner just does not have that problem, and we're seeing that very clear difference here today. Surprisingly, no survivors on this gen. Deathslinger going for a dry kick here, only regressing it by 0.3% per second. Do you want to note here that the survivors are keenly aware of Sloppy Butcher, Scourge Hook, Pain Resonance, and of course Corrupt Intervention. They are unaware of what the fourth perk is, however, as it has yet to be seen. Survivors, though, do an amazing job here of pressuring these gens. We do see this 3-gen over on Shaq's side, however. Unfortunately, with Deathslinger being a 110 killer, I do fear that they just will not be able to do much unless these Survivors royally mess up. We do, however, see the Nia, or Jake here. And not going for the pallet drop, will go for it. Jake takes the hit. Deathslinger with the break on the rock, and looks like they're going to try and go for the door break here. Jake just throwing pallets to make some distance, create some space between the two of them. We hear another gen popping off. Here is the Claudette for the body block. Medkit in hand too. Claudette will take the hit. Now Deathslinger having to make a choice here. Will they go for the Claudette or for the Jake? Realistically, it doesn't matter here, and looks like they will find the Jake, missing the shot on the Redeemer. Jake with a cheeky little flashlight click just to bring attention to them. And yeah, I think that the Slingers spend way too much time over here, as they right now have a 3-1 split. But I'd be willing to bet that gen next to the hill we saw earlier is about to be complete in just a moment. And sure enough, with the 2-1 split, only one gen remaining, there it is. However, we now see the haste status effect and Nancy playing with fire, to say the least. Is it possible for the Slinger to secure the 3K here? Yes. Is it likely? Probably not. Nancy, though, not knowing what's coming next, will end up going down. There's the unhook on the Jake, and looks like they're going to be going for the slug play here to try and secure the 3K. If they were to get both Nancy and Claudette here and get both of them hooked, that would result in a 2K8 hook. If they're able to secure that, that will tie the set while also losing the match points. However, Nancy back up pretty quick. Imagine a unbreakable in play. One of the exit gates currently open. Deathslinger knowing the win condition here to try and get the match and set point alike. And unfortunately, I think these Survivors are just going to take the 3-man out, securing their victory across the board. Deathslinger seen some scratch marks, but it's a little bit too late. And I think this will be the swan song for Killer and Survivors alike. I will note here as well, we have yet to see a deliverance, though these Survivors not waiting any time for us to be able to see if that is a possibility, and that there will be GG well played to Monarchy and No Mercy, and congratulations to Monarchy for the win. Well, quite a set of matches we had here tonight. Hopefully you all enjoyed yourselves. We will be back for a 2 p.m. match, so that is about 54 minutes from now. Do also want to let you guys know that we are getting very close to being able to apply for partnership here on Twitch. So if you guys are able to stick on by through our intermission, it would mean a whole lot. All we need to do at this point to meet partner is to stream for some extra hours, as well as maybe a couple more days here and there. So would really appreciate if you guys are going to stick on by through this intermission. But with that being said, I am your host, Giltspire, the Commissioner of Champions of the Fog, and we will be back in just 54 minutes. This time, we are going to be seeing Aberration versus Eviscerate. Should be a fun time indeed. That being said, guys, we'll see you then. Bye-bye!